Hey guys, it's Ashley Yvette. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button because we're still trying to get those subscribers up, baby. You already know. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back and rocking with your girl. Today, we're here to do a get ready with me chit chats. And let's just go ahead and get into it because I have a lot to say. Okay?
Bounce, 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 bounce,
So, okay, let's go ahead and get into this topic, you guys. If you are big on YouTube or watching YouTubers and things like that, and if you know anything about R&B music, then more than likely you know who Queen Naija is. She is a singer. She's a YouTuber. She blew up on YouTube with her ex, Chris. I don't want to go into all the details of the story because, you know, that's kind of irrelevant to the topic at hand today. But this is just to give you some background information about who she is and, you know, how this has become such a popular thing. So, basically, she posted a picture of her son graduating, her son with her ex-husband who she did YouTube with, okay? And they've had a lot of issues. He's a hot mess, honestly. He has a lot of issues, but basically she posted a picture and a video of her son graduating. I follow her. I really like her. I like her boyfriend, Clarence. He's so fine. He's fine. But I like them as a couple. She's a really genuine and sweet person. And I say all this, nobody's perfect, but this is just what I get from them. And I feel like I'm a pretty discerning person and I could pick up on vibes very easily. But I've been watching her for a few years now. And yeah, so her and her boyfriend and her son with her ex-husband took a picture at her son's kindergarten graduation. So the ex-husband got on Instagram because people were asking him, oh, you weren't at the graduation, you weren't at the graduation. And he responded saying he didn't know about the graduation, nobody told him. We'll start here, okay? So how I feel about that situation is just that you can feel that Queen should have told him that, you know, he was graduating. I'm gonna start with my eyebrows, guys, so I'm just gonna go in with this, and you'll see me looking in my mirror because I have to look at my mirror. So you could, just wanna make sure it's not in the, you could feel, I understand some people feel like she should have told him. I get that, and at first I was like, okay, I can see that, you know, I can see it. But then as stuff comes out and you find out, one, that the boys in private school, which I knew, like, because like I said, I follow them and I watch their channel on YouTube. But Chris, the ex-husband, does not pay any of the tuition. Don't pay any of the tuition. And obviously he doesn't care because you should have known that the graduation was coming. And it is not her responsibility to tell you. You should know what school he goes to. And you should be able to go on the school website. The teacher should be notifying you. The teacher should be notifying you because you should be on the email list as well. So that's how I feel about that. Like, I can understand why she didn't tell him because it's like, you don't care. Oh, see, I'm so bad at this. Nah, let me stop saying that. I gotta stop speaking negatively, you guys. So I'm using the NYX Tame and Frame brow pomade. I've been using this for a very long time. It's kind of like my holy grail. I go between using this and using a pencil, but this is the pomade that I like. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yeah, there you go. So that's how I feel about that. I understand why she didn't tell him, like, you don't pay anything, you don't care. And she did mention on Twitter, you know, if someone asked me about his education more, then maybe it would have popped into my mind to tell him. So he was just capping for the internet, and I think he just made a statement and then made, you know, posted another picture on Instagram saying, you know, I'm proud of you, but I wish I would have known, whatever. He didn't say anything after that. Then her sister, her 19-year-old sister, gets on Instagram and basically does the same thing, like, oh, TT didn't know you were graduating, but I'm proud of you, or whatever. So Queen kind of unleashed after that and just basically, mainly she made a couple of comments at her ex And then she basically was just talking in general, like, you know, I had a lot going on, so I wasn't even thinking about calling anybody. They have another son. Her and her boyfriend Clarence have a 2-year-old son who had a 103 fever that day. So she was in between rushing him to the ER and being at the graduation, her and Clarence. And Clarence released a video. He talks more about the details behind that. They didn't have a nanny that day. They, you know, they were parents just trying to figure it out. Having a child that is sick and making sure they make it to the kindergarten graduation. So, you know, Clarence basically made a statement on Twitter saying that, you know, you can't disrespect people, call them bitches and hoes, which Chris literally just did that. He just called Queen a miserable hoe like 2 weeks ago on Instagram. And he basically was saying you can't do that and expect them to let your son/nephew, you know, let you know about their graduation, basically. That's what he was saying. My words are jumbled because I'm trying to like do the eyebrows and talk to you guys at the same time. I'm getting it together, guys, don't worry. So, and I agree with Clarence. If we're not on speaking terms, which we later find out that her and her sister Tina and her mom are not on speaking terms, which has kind of been something that's been on and off, and that's the gist of what I want to talk about today once I get myself together and give y'all the backstory. But if we're not on speaking terms, I don't need to tell you that he's graduating. I can, but I'm not obligated to do that. Number one, if we're not on speaking terms, even if we were on speaking terms, that's my child. I don't have to tell you what's going on with them. It's nice for me to do that, but her sister has a sense of entitlement that is very unhealthy and toxic. But again, we'll get more into that. So after that, after Clarence makes that statement and Queen, you know, says what she says, like, you know, I'm really tired of people. And mainly she was addressing the internet, just about people, they were bashing her. And the thing is, a lot of their fans are kids and they don't know no better. They're really kids, they haven't lived any life. And it's a lot of women out there who, and men, but mainly it'll be some older women who watch them like me, or adult women, because I ain't old. But adult women who are so used to seeing their moms do everything that they don't know what it looks like to hold a man accountable. That is the issue that I see a lot with this situation with Queen and Chris. We're so used as a community to having single mothers. Let me be the one to reach out to your dad and tell him about this, about that that's going on, when really an active father should be involved. The mom shouldn't have to tell him. He should be asking her questions, or he should just be actively involved. And it's just sad to see, and that's why I hope this situation that she learns, like, to not even listen to what people say, especially on the Shade Room teens, because those kids don't know no damn better. They don't know anything. They haven't lived life. When I was 17, I thought I knew shit. I didn't know nothing. I'm 33 and I'm still learning, but the stuff that I know now and how I thought then, just thinking back to my mindset, y'all, it's crazy. So now I'm gonna go in with this Nars Concealer. What is the name of this concealer? It is in the color Amande, but this is just their, I don't know what the name of the concealer is, but this is like one of the mini versions that I got from Sephora, and I will be going back to get the full version. I wanted to try it out. This is my first time using it, but I'm almost out. So I'm gonna go in under my eyebrow, my brow bone. Just line that up. So you guys can see. Face this way, this might be better. So yeah, I see that a lot, and it's sad that people, they don't, he should have known, he's the father, you didn't have that baby alone, and not even missing the fact that this nigga don't know nothing about anything that goes on with his schooling. And it took Clarence to make a video to point that out, and he basically mentioned in his video, tell me what school he goes to. What's the name of his teacher? Who's his best friend at the school? Y'all don't know shit, but y'all are so entitled and y'all run to the internet, and that was the issue. And Clarence even made a tweet about that after he tweeted the first part about y'all just run to the internet and y'all twist shit and y'all run with it, but y'all don't want to tell the truth. Now, what's funny to me is that after Chris made those 2 statements, he's been very quiet. Normally, he's always in the mix, even when it has nothing to do with him. He's always in the mix when it comes to Queen and Clarence, because his jealousy is just so apparent. And again, for adults like me, we can see these things because we know we've lived life. Like, when you're young, you're just naive, man, and you live life and you see, oh wow, like, people really be wilding. So I'm just taking this brush and smoothing it out. This is my everyday eyebrow routine. I'm just gonna come in, do this. So yeah, so he hasn't been saying anything, and people are like, y'all need to give Chris his fans, you know, the people who are whatever, ridiculous, because I don't see how you could be a fan of a man who has abused multiple women, not only Queen, but all the girls that he's dated after that, including Parker McKenna, who's an actress who he was dating right after Queen. And he just so disrespectful to, and he got like 2 other baby mamas, or is it 2 or 3? 2 other baby mamas. He's so disrespectful to both of them, especially the youngest one. It's just a mess. But anyways, you know, people were saying, oh, y'all need to give Chris his props because he ain't even been saying nothing. And Clarence didn't mention him in his video, not disrespectfully, but just like, you're saying something about this and you twisted it on Instagram when you could have just said, hey, congratulations to my son. And then you could have just contacted Queen and been like, hey, I didn't know about the graduation. But then you would have to say, oh, this is my first time ever asking anything about his education or what school he goes to or anything. But he twisted it on Instagram, and he made that post, and he knew how people were going to attack her. He knew that was going to happen. So he's been quiet, but the reason why he's been quiet is because he don't want to answer that question about why she's the only one paying tuition. You say you love your son so much, you was just calling her a miserable hoe a few weeks ago, claiming that she wasn't allowing you to see your son, which was a lie because they have a legal agreement. But he's more in the custody of Queen, obviously, because he goes to school there and all of that. But you're quiet now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's interesting. It's very, 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 very interesting. So yeah, he's just a hot ass mess. So now I'm gonna go in with my primer. I always start off with my eyebrows first. Usually I do the primer before that, but this is primer. It's just from the Ordinary High Adherence Silicone Primer. I'm running out of this too, so I think I'm going to invest in one of those really nice expensive primers. I'm real basic with my makeup, it seems like, nowadays. But anyways, okay, so basically what has really started happening is her sister, the 19-year-old, has been going ham online, talking bad about Queen. We should have known. You're not even talking to mama. You didn't even tell us. Again, entitled. I don't know why you think that I need to tell you anything about what's going on with my son. He's my son. And Queen even said that online. She was like, he's my son. But yeah, the sister started going in on Instagram, just saying all this reckless shit, just being a hot ass mess. Just, oh my gosh, horrible, 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 horrible. And the mom, they all have YouTube channels. Queen has been trying to put them on for years. You know, they have YouTube channels, but they're not consistent. But she fussed their whole life. So it's like, while the sister is going in saying all this stuff, Queen's mom, Queen's sister, and Queen's brother, they all live in the same house. Queen pays for everything. She pays all their bills. So you literally are disrespecting your sister. This isn't the first time this has happened. This has happened, it seems like every year. The sister is out of freaking control, and Queen is nicer than me because I'm an older sister. I'm the oldest in my family, just like Queen. And I have 2 younger brothers. And we've had our disagreements. But I'm going to tell you one thing. That ain't never going to happen. Neither one of my brothers will ever get on the internet and do some shit like that. We've had our back and forth via text. And even then, they still don't really like come at me sideways because I'm still their big sister. Just like we don't go at my mom sideways because she's still our mom. We may voice our opinions and say how we feel, but I've never cursed at my mom. I've never cursed my mom out, even when I felt like it or felt like she deserved it or wanted to. You know what I mean? Like, I've never done that. There's just like a level of respect that I have and my brothers have for my mom, and I think they had that same thing for me because when my mom wasn't there or she had to work, I took care of them. So it's mind-boggling to me. And my brother is, I'm 33. My brother that's right under me is 30. The next one, I think, how old is he? He's like 27, 20, yeah, 27. But her sister is 19 and she's 24. So, you know, kind of similar age gap. Ain't no way in hell. And like I said, she's been doing it since she was 16, talking sideways. So it's just very interesting to me that she talks and is so disrespectful living in the house that she pays for. The audacity. It's the audacity for me. So now I'm gonna go in with this NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. This is the powder foundation in the color Deep. I am basically almost out of this. That's why you can't even see the prints on the top. I will talk about my experience with religious manipulation once I get done giving you guys the backstory and my input on the situation with Queen. But basically her mom makes a video praying in the same house that Queen pays for, the same house that Tina has been doing videos in, because she's done more than that first one. And she's praying against division in the family and praying over everybody's family and Lord, bind division and all of this in the family and all of this and all of that. And I see right through it. I see right through the religious cap, because that's what it is, it's cap. People love to hide behind religion to avoid taking accountability, and that's just the gist of it. At the end of the day, Queen's family is upset that they can't control her, and they try to use religion to control her. When Clarence confirmed it in that video, and I had already seen it, I could already tell, because it's like, why is Tina even able to say all of this stuff? And they're supposed to be a religious family. Tina just said she's saved, she's not gay anymore, she's not smoking, which I think that's part of the issue, is she really is gay, but her mom is probably telling her God won't love you if you're gay. So she's not living in her truth, and she's projecting all of her unhappiness onto her sister and claiming it's about the fact that she couldn't go to her nephew's graduation. It's not about that, girl. You unhappy because your mama done told you God won't love you if you're gay, and instead of letting you be yourself. And that's another thing that happens in the Black community with religion, how we treat the LGBTQ community, but then we have all of these people who are stealing money from the church. Everybody sins. We treat it like it's the worst sin ever when everybody sins. You got people stealing money from the church. These preachers are just philandering, and you got a lot of molestation and rape and sexual assault that goes on in the church, but then they will condemn a young girl if she gets pregnant, knowing that the pastor sleeping with whoever in the church and the deacons is doing what they doing. It's a lot of sexism, oh my gosh, homophobia, and manipulation that happens in the Black church. And that's why a lot of us millennials don't be going to church. And personally, I see why. Oh my gosh, guys, again, not doing the right thing. I'm using the Fenty contour stick, and it's called Match Sticks in the color Espresso. Usually this is not even a step that I do, but I'm just talking. Using this brush from e.l.f., my contour and whatnot. I'm gonna go in with the Nars Concealer in the color Caramel, and I'm also going to use the one that I used before, Amon, to go under my eyes to highlight. But yeah, so it's just very, you know, funny too. I see through the religious cap. Everything that Tina is saying in her videos, all the negative things that she's saying about Queen, is coming directly from her mom. Her mom, Miss Reava, and I say this respectfully because also in the Black community, especially when you are a Christian, if you say anything against an adult is considered disrespect. So I gotta make that point that it is respectfully, because I know how people are. And a lot of us are brainwashed to believe that you can't speak against elders, and that's not the truth. So yeah, Reava, she's the root of all of this. The jealousy that stems from Tina is because of Reava. And I don't even think it's necessarily because Queen is quote unquote traditionally prettier, because Tina is beautiful in her own right. It's her attitude and how she is that makes her not attractive. I think Reava has been trying to live through Queen, and she focuses so much on her, and she always has, because she knew the girl was talented. And maybe just because maybe Queen was her favorite. maybe Queen was her favorite. And I believe, you know, Queen was at least, what, 5 or 6 before she had the other 2. So there's obviously something there, but a lot of the stuff that Tina was saying, the shots that she was taking at Queen, oh, that's from Reava. And if you are such a holy roller and you don't want division in your household, why are you even allowing your daughter to make these videos? Because when I was 19 and I was living at my mama's house, I had to follow her rules. But if you already been letting her pop off on the internet for the past 3 years since she was like 16, 15, then you can't control her. And y'all be talking about it. That's what happens. They be talking about it on the sideline when the cameras are off, and then she lets Tina be her mouthpiece. And then she gets on the internet and she's praying against division in the family. How about you tell Tina to take those videos down that she made using the Wi-Fi that Queen pays for? How about you do that? So I see all through that with Miss Reava, and I think that's why Queen has distanced herself from her, because she's seeing through it too. Your family, and I can see her mom uses religion to manipulate her. Well, God told me in a dream that this was happening, and every time she doesn't get her way, I'm sure that's what's happening. Because you can't sit here and tell me that you are a Christian and you're allowing and you're condoning Tina making these videos in your house, bashing the daughter that pays for everything. Please, you be right along talking with her. Right along talking with her. And then when Queen doesn't do what you want her to do, you say, well, God, this and God, this, and you know God has a calling on your life, and I'm praying for you, and I just, oh, let me tell you something. So let me get into my personal story. My family is super religious. My family has a lot of issues, and not just my immediate family, because I feel like me and my brothers are breaking the generational curses, but my aunt, my grandmother, my mom, my uncles, like their cousins and stuff like that. Everybody's religious, but everybody got issues, and that is something that I dealt with and that my mom dealt with as well, with her sister and my grandmother. And it's crazy because my mom ended up doing the same thing to me and my brothers, you know, trying to use religion to control you. And it worked for a very long time, you guys. And this is not to bash my mother. We are in a place right now where we're trying to work through well, let me not lie. We're in a place right now where she knows where me and my brothers stand, and I am very optimistic that she will get to the point where she's ready to address those issues. But what has happened is that when people don't get their way, I'll just say this, when people don't get their way, I have been told, oh, I had a dream, and mentioning somebody else who's supposedly supposed to be spiritually inclined and close to God, that they told me this, and God will always tell me, and just, I used to have this fear, like everything this person was saying was true, because I believed like they really were hearing from God. And even though I knew in my heart that they were wrong, that they were being manipulative, that they were being emotionally, mentally, and spiritually abusive, because that's really what it is. More than even religious manipulation, it can turn into religious and spiritual abuse. When you prey on somebody's emotions and use fear tactics to get your way. Even if it's just being able to say what you want and them not being able to say anything back. Or in Queen's case, I'm pretty sure her family has used her for money or used her to get her to do things. That is abuse. So it goes from being religious and spiritual manipulation to religious and spiritual abuse. That happens a lot. So I've experienced that, so I know what Queen is going through, and I know what happens when you cut things off. And they're trying to blame Clarence and say he's the reason why. But what I find is funny, and this is for people who follow Queen. When Queen left Chris, she didn't go home with her mom or her family. She went and stayed with Armand and Trey at the tap house. Before she got with Clarence, she was talking about getting an apartment with her friend Ari. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing. She wasn't talking about going back home with her mom. I think they feel what they are, they're in denial about that. They're in denial about the dysfunction in their family. And Queen has gotten to a point where she's with somebody, and I think her being away from the dysfunction of Chris also is she's able to see this is not how things are supposed to be. And I know that's what happened with me with my ex. It wasn't so much that it was him pointing stuff out to me, because he didn't care about what was really going on with my emotions and stuff. But me being able to have like a safe place to go to with him, just to be away from my mom, was really kind of eye-opening for me. And I think that's what Queen is experiencing. So now guys, I'm gonna go in with the Fenty Beauty. And these are the Mini Instant Retouch Setting Powder. So this is the color Nutmeg. And then this one, which I've already opened, is Honey. So I'm gonna use this to set my under eyes. That's what's happening. And it's not so much I see people saying Clarence is not gonna let them control her. Clarence is gonna voice his opinion, and as he should, as her man and as a father of her child and somebody who cares about her, and he sticks up for her. And he mentioned in his video, like, this is the issue. My camera died, and now I forgot what I was saying. But basically, I've dealt with the religious manipulation, guys. Like, I know what that's all about, and that is what has been happening with Queen. Oh, this is what I was saying, like, being able to step away and have a safe place to go to is really what gave me my power back. And this is just real talk, y'all. I know what she's going through, and I could see right through her mom. Like, I could see right through that. No, she is not the holy saint that she's portraying herself to be. How are you gonna make a video talking about I'm praying against division in my family? You don't need to be making a video praying. You need to be calling your daughter and saying, I'm sorry, I'm going to make Tina take those videos down. Let's go to therapy, or let's talk it out. She and Tina is Reava's mouthpiece. These are the conversations they have. Why else would she, as a Christian woman, feel comfortable with Tina making these videos in this house? And you know, if it was me, I would probably tell my mom, I would send her a text, be like, Mom, you know, I love you, but I have to set boundaries. So this is what I'm gonna do. All this money that Tina's making off of these videos that she's posting on YouTube, the money that she's gonna make, that's what y'all can use. That's what y'all can use to pay the bills. I'm not sending you no more money. And it would have to stop. Queen, I believe, is only 24 or 25. So that may not even happen. Because I know on Instagram it was saying that she reached out to Iyanla, which I think Iyanla could be a good option. Some people don't like her. She's not a licensed therapist, but I feel like she gives you the real shit. I would like to have Iyanla for my family. Quiet as it's kept. Quiet as it's kept. But yeah, it's just sad, and Tina making statements about the abuse, the sexual assault that Queen endured when she was younger. It's very, very, very sad. And the thing is, just a month ago, Tina made a video on YouTube saying that she was saved, she wasn't drinking no more, not smoking, she was not gonna date women anymore, she wasn't gay anymore, and this is what she's doing. And that's what I mean about the religious manipulation. A lot of people, a lot of Christians, especially in the Black church, people are religious but not spiritual. And people equate Christianity or religion, they equate it to morals, to having moral standing, and that is not the truth. That is not the truth at all. And it's just sad to see, because I know that's what Queen is going through, because she is a person who believes, she has a strong faith in God. And I can see, I know, I've been there, I've been in her shoes. Even though I feel like I wasn't even as super religious like that, but there was a point where I really, you know, was more into the church and more into religion. Even if I didn't go to church like that, I would pay my tithes every month. But when I was able to just open my eyes and see what was going on for real, it really helped me a lot. It really helped me a lot to open my eyes. And now I'm on a path right now where I'm just trying to figure out where I stand spiritually. You know I believe in God, and I know that I want a spiritual connection, but I do believe it's more than just the Christianity that we've been taught. But the moral of the story is, when it comes to Christianity, especially in the Black community, we use it to control each other, because that's how it was introduced to us. It was used to control us. Now, if you do your research, you know that Christianity was introduced in African countries in East Africa. So there were practicing Christians in East Africa, but as far as most of us who were a part of the transatlantic slave trade in the African diaspora, Christianity was introduced to us from our oppressors. They gave us a white Jesus, and so many households, Black households, had a white Jesus on their wall, when clearly there's no way that he could be white. So I'm gonna go in with this Jackie Aina, her eyeshadow palette with Anastasia Beverly Hills, and then I have this small Tartelette palette. It was like, the booby traps that they be having in Sephora. I've had this for a few years now. So I'm gonna go in and use this color. You can see I've had it for a while. To do my crease color, my transition shade. Actually, not the crease color. So yeah, this is just what has happened. We've adapted Christianity and we've used it to control each other. And in a time where we were so oppressed during Jim Crow and segregation, the church really was our cornerstone, because it was the only place where we had some sort of hierarchy. Think about it. They used to not even let women, they didn't even want to let women have leadership roles in the church or let them be preachers. This is in the Black community. So we use church as much as it was our backbone, and it was the foundation of our communities. It was also used to oppress and create a hierarchy from the very beginning. From the very, very, very beginning. So, I understand what Queen is going through. I know what it's like to come from a super religious family that ultimately wants to control you. And that's what's going on. So to see this is sad. Cause I know how she feels, man. I know how she feels. And it also sucks for Tina too. Because baby girl is gonna have a time where she realizes that her mom was using her. Cause that's what's happening. She's using her as her mouthpiece, and the thing that gets me is that because I was a Christian, and I consider myself, I don't know if I consider myself a Christian still, but I believe in God, I definitely believe. So I guess I would consider myself still a Christian. But Reava, is very dangerous for Reava to allow Tina, and basically put the battery in Tina's back to put all of this negative energy out there when she knows it's going to come back to her. What goes up must come down. Some of my mom said to me, ironically, or has always said to me, you plant seeds, they grow. And most of the time, the people who are preaching the most, they be the worst ones. So it's just ironic to see this all play out, you guys. So I'm using the color Lituation in the Jackie Aina palette right now. But yeah, it's just really, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I hate this for Queen. I'm glad that she has Clarence by her side. People can say what they want. Oh, he shouldn't get involved. And again, most of these people are kids. They don't know what the hell they be talking about, boy. I just, as much as I love social media, I hate that teenagers be on social media, because they just be talking out the side of their neck. And adults too. But it's just a lot of ignorant people on the internet. But as an adult, as a person who's been through things, as a woman, And as somebody who's dealt with religious manipulation, she is so blessed to have Clarence in her life. So blessed to have Lee in her life. Because her family, a hot mess. And as much as the hot mess as Chris is, her ex-husband, the father of her first son, CJ, who this whole thing is supposed to be about because they're upset that they couldn't come to the graduation. He has said multiple times that her family was toxic. Multiple times. And I think this is what his and his family is toxic too. But he said that multiple times. Even recently when he called her a miserable hoe, he literally, then the next Instagram post was talking about how he felt bad for Clarence because he know what he got to go through with her family. And it's just ironic that this is playing out the way that it is, but I see through Miss Reava. And people can feel how they want to feel about that. I'm an adult, so there's nothing wrong with calling out another adult, whether they're your elder or not. And that's another thing that we do in the black community, in the black churches. You feel like you can't say nothing, so then adults are just able to do what they want to do without having any accountability. That's the real reason why there's that that stigma in place, like a child's supposed to stay in a child's place. So it's just very interesting to me that as religious as Miss Reava is, and she's making videos talking about the Lord and taking the girl from the T page to get baptized and what, I don't know, that you would let Tina be talking out the side of her mouth, because she's in your house. Queen pays for this house, but this is technically your home. And really, Tina should be out the home, in school, doing something, and they don't do anything. She doesn't do anything. So the fact that she's bashing Queen the way that she is, the audacity, it just shows that Queen's mom has no respect for her. So if I have no respect for you, why would I enforce somebody else to have respect for you? But then you claim that Clarence is being disrespectful because he's standing up for Queen when you guys disrespect her. And that is the logic and the lack of common sense that super religious people have, and they think that it's right. They think that it's right. But I see through Reava. I see through the cap, the religious cap. She's been trying to manipulate Queen with religion, and now she's trying to manipulate us with religion now too. I can't talk, guys, sorry. She's been trying to manipulate Queen with religion, and now she's trying to manipulate us with religion by putting up this video saying, I'm praying against division in the household. No, ma'am. The division is your daughter. And you're making a video in the same space where she was making a video speaking ill of your other daughter who funds you guys' whole lifestyle. I think her family is mad because they wanted to be the ones on the journey with her. They wanted to be the ones going to the meetings with all of these different record labels with her when she was doing this a couple years. Because this has been going on for like 3 years. Ever since Clarence came into the picture, and not just him, his sister Lee, who's her manager. Ever since she started making strides with her music career and she had them around, and not her family has been upset. But why? And they want to try to say, oh, she's weak, it's because she's in love with the man. Number one, if she wanted her man with her, then she wanted her man with her, period. None of your business. But you need to respect that and stop trying to guilt her by using God. And I'm glad that Clarence called it out, you know. I'm glad that he did. And I hope that Queen gets the strength one day to set those boundaries. She's already started, but she's gonna have to ultimately, at this point, like I said, I told y'all what I would do. I would tell my mom, I can't fund you guys' lifestyle. Or it will be a situation where it's like, I'm gonna pay the mortgage or the rent. I'm not sure they're renting, or if they're in a home that she's purchased. I believe she has previously purchased them a home. I would tell them, I'm giving you guys 6 months. You got 6 months. And then it stops. And quiet as kept, the stuff that Tina said, I would tell my mom, you have 24 hours to get Tina to either take those videos down, apologize, or she needs to get out that home. And if she does not, if this does not happen within 24 hours, either one of those options, then you're cut off. And then, you know, but I'm sure that's all contingent upon whether or not light bills, utilities are in Queen's name, what's in Queen's, because you know she doesn't want to mess up her credit and stuff. But I see through the religious cap. This is definitely Reava. I think I'm done with this part. Let me go ahead and put on my lashes before my freaking camera dies. It's sad, guys. It's really, really, really sad. I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I know what it's like. I know what it's like. I've seen it. It's happened to me. And, you know, unfortunately, my mom went through the same thing, but she never dealt with those issues, which is why she ended up projecting that onto us. And when that's all you know, that's all you know. And I'm pretty sure that's maybe the same thing with Queen's mom. Maybe her mom did it to her. Maybe that's just something that happens in their family, just like it was with mine, the religious manipulation. It's just really ironic. You know, my grandmother died in April 2019. And I hadn't seen my grandmother since I was 18 years old. No, I'm lying. She came to my college graduation. So I saw her then. But, you know, her and my mom were on speaking terms and everything. But what really turned me off from religion was not only my family and then my family, both sides. And just the things that I saw, but also my grandmother went to that church, the church that she had her funeral at. She went to that church since I was like 8 years old, probably before then. And she had to be cremated. She didn't have any, her insurance policy, life insurance was not that great, but I don't even feel like she should have had to have it. Her church should have paid for that. The church that she's an elder at. The church that she's been paying tithes to for over 20 years. She had to be cremated. Something she would have never wanted to happen. So, you know, the religious manipulation is just a speck, a small speck in the grand scheme of the conversation that we need to have about the Black church within the Black community. And just about religion in general. Specifically, Christianity. Because we can't deny how it was brought to us, you guys, and how it was used to manipulate us. And we just use it to manipulate each other now. We're judgy. We do all types of stuff. So, yeah, I see through the religious cap with Queen's mom. I'm very saddened to hear that she's been dealing with this religious manipulation for so long. And I understand it. This is not... I look really retarded right now. I'm trying to put this on. I might just, whatever. I'm gonna put those on off camera. You guys will see. So the last thing that I'm gonna do before I put my lashes on off camera is I'm gonna take my LA Girl eyeliner in the color brown that I use as a lip liner, and I'm gonna line my lips. I have a little bit of gloss on because I didn't want to come on here looking crusty, rusty, and dusty. You know, I take my lips very seriously. So I'm just gonna go ahead and line my lips. Line my lips. And I'm gonna take this MAC lip gloss in the color Spice. I'm looking at my camera, making sure it's not. And we're going to... This is like my go-to, you guys. Either this or this Maybelline gloss that I use. I think you guys have seen it. This is like my go-to. Period. Lashes are on, and then I lined my waterline. So now I'm gonna take my setting spray. This is the Urban Decay All-Nighter. Y'all already know, the Holy Grail. Ooh, child. I always get it on my lips, like every time. Oh, lips looking juicy and plump and all of that. So while this is setting and I'm basically fanning myself, yeah, I would like to know what you guys think. Anybody who watches this video, come one, come all. You know, I have no problem with answering comments. If we have a little debate, we have a little debate. Just be respectful. You know, I'm not gonna respond to ignorance, so don't even bother with that. This really isn't about Chris, so if you're a Chris Sales fan, there's no need to, well, I mean, you can comment. We can go back and forth about the whole, he ain't paying tuition, that's why he's quiet. That is why he's quiet, because he doesn't want to admit to the world that he doesn't know anything about his son's education, and that's why he didn't know about the graduation. The type of person Queen is, y'all call her a pushover and all this stuff all the time. If he really wanted to know and he asked her, she would have told him. I don't think she would have kept it from him, even if she didn't want to see it. She would have told him. Let me know what you guys think about this whole topic of religious manipulation. Sound off on how you feel about Queen, how you feel about her mom Reava, and the religious cap, as I call it, and just about your experiences, if you have any, with religious manipulation, or just your thoughts about it altogether. You know, I think this is a very interesting topic. I think it's time that the Black community talks about this, and we talk about the Black church and why a lot of us millennials are not participating in church like our parents did. And actually, when I think about it, even our parents' generation, they weren't participating in church in the same way that their parents were. So, you know, it's been like a trickle down effect, because there are things that need to be addressed, there are things that are not right, and there's a lot of trauma involved. And when I see this situation with Queen and her family, I see the dysfunction in lots of different ways and different aspects, but specifically with this religious manipulation, and that is due to her mom. And Reava is going to have to own up to the fact that she has pit Tina and Queen against each other, and that she has placed seeds in Tina's mind from conversations that they have probably had that Reava should not have had with her, and it has caused Tina to really have resentment towards Queen. And it's all showing, because this is supposed to be about CJ's graduation, and she's calling her sister a colorist and basically saying that she's been horny since she was a child, even though Queen has been open about the fact that she was sexually assaulted, I believe molested, as a child. Her sister is saying this online, and her mother just goes and makes the Instagram video and prays. You make a statement to tell people to not put words in your mouth, but the words that are coming out of your mouth, they tell everything. I don't know what you're saying to Tina behind closed doors. I don't think you're saying anything, but I don't know for sure. But I do know what you put out in that statement. So she's basically saying that she was interviewed by a Sunny TV, which used to be a T channel. So I don't know why she got up in her house. She must not be that discerning. She must not be that discerning if she didn't know that this girl used to be a T channel, and she's going to stir the pot. She's going to stir the pot. Ooh, child. So basically, she's just saying that she did an interview talking about stress, and she's working on her mental, spiritual, and physical health, and she doesn't have time for all of the drama, basically. God knows her heart, yada, yada, yada. And she doesn't want anybody to put words in her mouth, and she cannot be responsible for how my family member, I cannot be responsible for how my family handles their drama. They are my kids, but they are adults. Tina's 19. She's not an adult. She's a teenager who's of age, who is not in school, who does not work, and who lives off of your other daughter, who does work, and who has kids, and who is an adult. And she's in your household, and you claim that you're a Christian while you're praying, talking about binding division in families, but you are allowing her to say these things about your daughter that's causing the division in the family, in the household. You can stop this. You don't want to stop it. And I'm just saying this in general. This is no disrespect to Miss Reava. I'm just telling you guys, this is what religious manipulation is. And even with that post, she's trying to manipulate us with religion as well. And the thing is, I don't fault her, because this is what she's been taught. This is probably what she's been doing. This is what a lot of Black people in the church do. A lot of people in the church in general do. We see it with white supremacists. They claim that they are Christians and they love God, but they're racist as hell. They're sexist as hell. They're homophobic and transphobic as hell. And ignorant as hell too. But they claim that they love God. So this is something that people do. the hypocrisy is very normal in America, and that is just the end all be all. That is just the truth. So for her to make a statement saying that I cannot control how my family handles their drama. They are my kids, but they are adults. No, you can control Tina. You can control Tina, but you don't want to, because she's saying the things that you guys talk about. If you try to tell her, no, she shouldn't do this, she's not going to do nothing but make a video basically saying, well, mama said this and she said this. That's what it is. And like I said, I could just see through the religious cap. It's just cap. So I understand where Queen is coming from. Oh, child, pray for her. Like, we really need to pray for her. We really need to lift her up, saints, lift her up. And like I said, I'm not a super religious person like I used to be anymore, but I just pray for her peace. I'm sending her good vibes and good energy so that she can get through this, because setting these boundaries, especially with your mama, is very hard. It's not something you want to do. You know, I'm still working on it. I still feel like there's a certain level of boundary that I should make that I haven't made, you know. But when you cross that threshold, it feels really good. It really does. And I'm grateful that she has Clarence in her life, because her family's a hot mess, you know. And coming from somebody who has a hot mess family, hey, I get it. And I also just wanted to read a few comments that I saw on social media that, you know, basically saying the same thing I'm saying, that's mentioning the religious manipulation and just the shadiness that we see that's really going on with Queen's mom, that she's trying to hide behind religion and not taking accountability for her part, and the things that Tina is saying. So one of them read, probably the reason why Queen mom can't shut it down is because she be talking the same things with Tina behind closed doors, and that's why she can't say anything. Don't say anything. Think about it. Someone commented under that and said their mom is crazy manipulative. And someone else commented as well under that comment and said, all of this, because there's no way you're going to allow your teenage daughter to talk cash crazy about your adult child and the home that they pay for you, unless you share those same feelings. Like, the entitlement is crazy. Everything Tina has said in any of her videos about how she feels about Clarence is actually just reflections of her, and it's sad AF. Someone else says, I can't help but feel Tina is mini outspoken Reava. They regurgitated the same narrative after apologizing and saying they were wrong until things don't go their way. It's crazy the things said by her family when they came back from vacation last time too. Graduation was just the most hurtful excuse for the haters to use to bash Queen. It seems strategically thought out and planned, like they added another element to their dynamic. Someone said on another video, let this be a lesson when you involve children or allow children to sit around and listen to grown folks' conversations. Remember, I mentioned before, Tina's only 19. She's been going off on social media like this on her sister for the past few years, since she was a minor. They throw stuff in your face with it and emotionally blackmail you with it. Reava holds a lot of accountability with what's going on. Tina's been on this earth only 19 years, and I'm willing to bet that the comparison started day one with her sister and the resentment soon after. Like I said, Reava, she started it. She's the root of all of this. So there are a lot of people who share the same sentiments and who understand, like I said, the adults, people who actually have been through things in their life, and not the trolls and not the kids that are on the internet that don't really know much. So people understand that the root of all of this from Tina, she's projecting her insecurities onto her sister, as well as she is basically just saying out loud what her and her mother have been talking about behind closed doors in the home with her mother there. And again, all her mom can say is, I can't control her. Yes, you can. If you are a spiritual person like you say you are, you shouldn't even want that negative energy in your home. Let me tell you something. I said what I said about my mom and her having her issues with her mom and how it has affected our relationship, and her own issues with religious manipulation when it comes to me and my brothers. But that is not something that my mom would allow. She wouldn't allow that. She wouldn't allow us to bash each other in her home. I don't feel like she would allow that. There are certain things that she's done that has been problematic and that has caused issues within our family, but I could not even see my mom allowing me or my brother to do that, or either one of my brothers to do that. I could not see her allowing that. So it's just very interesting to me that Reava like I said, she doesn't have a problem with what Tina said. She's not going to stop her because they are essentially her thoughts. And I think that, again, as I mentioned before, if she tries to stop her, I think Tina will come out and expose her mom. She's that bold. She's bold enough to say all this stuff about Queen, and Queen is paying for everything. She definitely will be bold enough to come out and say, no, mama, you the one who said this, and that, even though she lives with her mom. But she probably feels like, why should I listen to you? I mean, Queen pays for everything. She has no respect. So, I mean, there are people out there who understand it, and that we can see through the religious cap that Reava is putting out there, and it's hurtful because a lot of families go through this. And we need to get to the bottom of using religion to hide behind the truth and to hide from taking accountability. It is not serving any of us. It's not serving any of us. I've seen it time and time again. I've experienced it personally. It's a mess. Going back to Wikipedia, spiritual abuse includes psychological abuse and emotional abuse, physical abuse including physical injury and deprivation of sustenance, sexual abuse, any act by deeds or words that shame or diminish the dignity of a person, intimidation and the requirement to submit to a spiritual authority without any right to dissent, unreasonable control of a person's basic right to exercise free will in spiritual or natural matters, false accusations and repeated criticism by labeling a person as, for example, disobedient, rebellious, lacking faith, demonized, apostate, an enemy of the church or deity, isolationism, separation, disenfranchisement, or estrangement from family and friends outside the group due to cult, religious, or spiritual or indigenous beliefs, financial exploitation or enslavement of adherents. All of those things that I just listed are things that Queen is enduring from her family. I'm just so glad that she has a support system outside of her family. I'm really glad that she has that. I'm really glad that she has Clarence. I'm really glad that she has Lee. I'm really glad that she has other friends, but definitely those two in particular. I'm really glad that she has Clarence and Lee. Because this, like I said, man, her family is upset at the fact that they could not go on the journey with her the way that they wanted to. I think her mom and her brother and her sister, I really don't think her brother cared that much, but definitely her mom, definitely her sister, I think that they wanted to be in those meetings with her. They wanted to be going to LA to meet with the record labels. They wanted to be on the red carpet with her. They wanted to go to the BET Awards. They wanted to go to the Billboard Awards. And she made a different choice. She fell in love. She got pregnant. She started a new family. She found happiness. She found her voice. And they don't like that. And I think when they continue to disrespect her, this is what has been said, so this is what I know to be true. They continue to disrespect her. They continue to try to emotionally, mentally, spiritually abuse her, and Clarence stepped in and said, not on my watch. This is the mother of my child. And that is what I think happened in the hospital. When Queen was giving birth to Legend, something happened in the hospital where they tried to bully Queen or try to do something against her will, and she set a boundary, they crossed it, and then Clarence said, I'm not going for it. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Why cause stress to a woman that is giving birth, that's growing life? I don't understand that. So I really hope they come out and tell that whole story, because I'm sure it's something along those lines, and they feel that it was disrespectful for Clarence to yell at her. But if she is literally bullying or causing Queen emotional distress, mental distress, and she is pregnant with his child, he has a right to say something. And as a man and as a father who cares, that is his right. So again, you guys, this topic is just it's so real, man, and it's sad, and it happens to so many of us. A lot of us have endured religious and spiritual abuse, and it encompasses everything: psychological, emotional, mental abuse, everything. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad. You know, Reava is at the root of all of this, and I'm pretty sure Reava has dealt with this in her life too, and she's just doing what she knows because she never got help for it. I really hope that Queen goes to therapy herself to work through her issues, because it's going to take a long time before her family is willing to admit it. It's going to take a long time. So sound off in the comments, guys. Let me know what you think. This is a topic that I'm very passionate about because, you know, I have personal experience with it, and then me, I have a background in psychology, so I'm always interested in things of this nature anyway. So I would love to talk about stuff like this more, and, you know, get back into my passion for psychology. And yeah, I mean, let's discuss this, because it's time that we start talking about this, and I'm just sending positive vibes to Queen and Clarence, and to the whole family, honestly, because everybody needs healing. But I really hope that Queen is ready to set those boundaries that she needs to set for her own well-being, for her babies, and for the things that she wants to do for her future with Clarence, her future with her career, everything. You know, it makes everything better when you take the toxicity out of your life. And that's on pure big purr. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, stay bye.